must go!
The Sacklers those protesters were shouting about is the family behind Purdue Pharma. It makes the painkiller OxyContin, which has contributed to North America's opioid addiction crisis. And New York's famed Guggenheim Museum is the target because it has taken Sackler family donations. Protests like that one may be paying off. The Guggenheim says it won't take any more Sackler money. And London's National Portrait Gallery turned down a big donation as well. But large cultural institutions, including those in Canada, need large financial gifts. So, as public scrutiny intensifies, how do galleries decide whose money to take? Deanna Sumanak-Johnson explains.
There are no protests like this in museums in Canada, at least not yet. But with so many of our galleries depending on private donors, the art world is watching the fallout from the Sackler controversy.
It's something that all art foundations in Canada are very aware of and following with a lot of interest.
Sackler's live, people die!
There isn't much Sackler money in Canadian arts institutions. The Royal Ontario Museum received the largest of the lot, a one-time gift of $250,000 15 years ago. The ROM, along with some other institutions, declined our request for interviews. The Art Gallery of Ontario sent its gift acceptance policy, which says donations could be declined if the gift may have come from illegal activities or the gift involves sensitive issues. The National Gallery in Ottawa has similar policies in place. The fundraising arm of the gallery, its director, and the board of trustees are all involved in vetting potential donors.
You make the best decisions you can in the current climate when the gift is made, and then downstream, sometimes there's evolution to that story, and certainly when it drifts towards criminal charges or very complex reputational issues, well, then the organizations have to take stock and they have to assess what their next move is.
The Sackler, family have done a lot of good.
But for this prominent art philanthropist who sits on the Art Acquisition Committee of the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts, it's a slippery slope.
Are we going to stop taking money from the banks because they egregiously overcharged or the interest rates on our credit cards are 22%? It raises a whole series of questions of, is any corporate money any good? Because you're going to, right now in Canada, we have inadequate government funding for the arts.
Why do you think that is?
Whatever happens, Stephen Ranger, partner at the auction house Waddington's, hopes it doesn't make donors reluctant to give.
There's really only a handful of families who are big donors. If you took any one of those out, it would have a profound impact on our cultural landscape.
And you're giving your friends a tour.
For now, Canada's arts fundraisers are attempting a tricky balancing act: get the money they need for their institutions to shine, while also investing in policies to keep out the donors whose money just might not be worth the trouble. Deanna Sumanak-Johnson, CBC News, Toronto.